You're listening to Bye Bye Baby, a Dob Berman production. Episode of Bye Bye Baby podcast. If you don't remember Britney Spears' 2007 meltdown, you are not old enough to listen to this podcast. I am your babysitter, Tori, and with me I have my two babies,
Mariana
and Madi.
And this episode is called Being a Baby Bi. So, I've, as you guys know through our coming out special, I've pretty much always known that I was bisexual. So I do not count as a baby bi, but I've got two lovely ladies here who have experienced that whole transition, I suppose you'd call it, from,
yeah,
it sounds weird when you put it like that, but that whole realizing your bisexuality.
Yeah.
So.
And I always thought I was straight, and I dated guys. Mm-hmm. So, like, I realized my sexuality fairly late. So I had been, first 20 years of my life, I was straight as far as I knew. So I'm going through, like, that awkward teenage phase that everyone has to go through, but I'm doing it again. Like, I've already gone through this once with just boys, and now I'm going through it again with girls.
Ooh.
So.
Okay, but that part's way more fun, just in personal experience. So, Mariana?
In my case, it wasn't, I always just assumed I was straight because it's sort of the standard. But then once I kind of reached high school, I was just like, oh, wait, am I though? And I just started getting all these terms thrown at me, and I was like, well, actually, this sounds like pretty cool. But do I feel like this, or it's just like a fad because everyone around my school was like, oh yeah, it's so fashionable nowadays to be bi. And I was like, am I just trying to follow trends?
Fashionable to be bi.
Yes.
That's an interesting point to make because, especially when you come out to friends and family, a lot of them, especially, I don't want to say, we said this in another episode, but the B word, the boomer word. But a lot of the older generations will say that it's a phase. You're not really bisexual. There's no such thing. You're either gay or you're straight. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Which we all know is bullshit, but let's address that really quick. What are some struggles that you guys went through, not just with realizing that you're bisexual, but also, I guess, trying to come to grips with that in a community?
Well, I come from Kansas. So if you're not familiar with the United States, Kansas is smack dab in the middle of the Bible Belt. So it's a very red state. It's very conservative. There was like the token gay kid in every grade in high school, but like that was it.
Right.
And people put up with it. They tolerated it, but they weren't accepting of it. And they didn't embrace it. So like they weren't necessarily, like, hardcore bullied or anything for being anything other than straight, but they weren't really treated with respect. So that was something that I was nervous about when, I had lived my whole high school years as straight. I didn't know that I was attracted to girls as well. So at this point, I was, like, already settled into, like, my group of friends, and I was starting college, and I was still in, my hometown, so, like, right. Everyone kind of already had their, like, ideas of me. My identity was already solidified, so, like, having to throw this into it and being like, actually, just kidding, I am bisexual, I'm not straight, it kind of threw people for a loop. All my friends were really supportive, but...
Did you have any bad experiences?
Nothing awful, but I definitely, like, just as a whole, Wichita, where I'm from, it's, like I said, more conservative. So, like, being out and about and being openly gay, bisexual, whatever, you definitely get some dirty looks and things like that. And I pretty much just frequented the gay bar back home that everyone went to. I won't name it, but yeah, everything was fine there, but they had this patio area out front where everyone would go and, smoke whatever. And I was out there once with a girl that I was dating, and she kissed me, and there was some guys at a gay bar
Oh my God.
that made some nasty hand gestures at us, to say the least. So I think that would probably be like the only time that I've directly faced homophobia back home. I was
Right.
like, what the fuck? I didn't because I hadn't had too bad of an experience up until that point. So I was kind of taken aback. I was like, you're at a gay bar, dude. What the hell?
I do come across that occasionally, just like the dirty looks, and I'm just shocked. It's like, it's the 21st century. Are you still on about this? Like,
Yeah.
It's so surprising sometimes. But Mariana, what are some struggles that you went through? And you're not even from the UK or from America. You're from Portugal. So
Yes, I'm from Portugal, and my country's very Catholic. I never dated a girl, and no one ever saw me, for example. I never had an experience like that where I did see me with a girl and start booing or making gestures or anything like that. But I do remember this one instance. First of all, I just have to say that all my friends were amazing, especially because most of them were LGBT to start with. So all of them were super supportive, and I was so lucky. And I think that's why I came to terms with, or at least realized it as quickly as I did. It was because they were really amazing. But I remember very vividly in history class one time, and we were doing this group assignment. But kind of like when you have to do group assignments in class and no one's doing the group assignment.
Yeah.
You just don't. You do it at home, and in class you're just like chatting.
Yeah.
yeah.
And there was these two guys in my class, and I don't know how the topic came to be, but I pretty much came out as bi to my class, or at least
In a group project in history class.
yeah, they weren't even in my group. That's the weirdest thing. But we were just like all chatting. Some people legit just left the classroom.
Okay, so as a former teacher, I have to say you were way off topic then. That's terrible. But continue.
Yes, so we were just chatting. Like, I don't think the teacher was even in the room, or maybe she was. I think my teacher knew I was bi, actually. I think I came out to my teacher at some point as well.
Just all over the place.
But yeah, so these two guys were talking about something, and I think I just came out and I said, like, hey, I'm bi. And they were like, what? Really? And they were like so shocked, so surprised. And they just started asking me these like weird questions, like, hey, so is like scissoring a thing? So have you been, so how do you know? You must have kissed a girl then. How many girls have you kissed? How many guys have you kissed? How many girls have you slept with? How many guys have you slept with? And I was like, I don't need to sleep with either or both genders to know my sexual identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can sort of just know who I'm attracted to. That's something. But they were so confused by this. They're like, but how do you know? And I was just like, well, how do you know you're not gay if you've never kissed a guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just know. It's just part of it. Yeah, it was so...
So, and that transitions perfectly into our next topic, a two-parter topic, actually. So, you guys talk about how, you thought that you were straight for the longest time, and then it was just kind of like a realization. Do you think that part of that could have been, I don't want to say fixed, because, everyone comes into their sexuality by themselves in their own way, but is normalized heteronormativity, do you think that, was a part of you guys, that was your starting point, and so it was difficult to get to that?
Yeah. I think especially with being bisexual, I mean, I am attracted to men. So, I just assume, okay, yeah, I'm straight. But maybe I'm just, into girls when I'm drinking, that was pretty much, how it started for me. So, I just, never really thought about it because, I had a boyfriend pretty much a good majority of high school or, kind of had a boyfriend, complicated situation. But so I wasn't really thinking about anyone other than him. So the thought never crossed my mind.
Right. So
yeah, once I realized that I was bi, I was like having to start all over again and learn how to, I don't know, like, you know, your awkward teenage years when, like, you're learning to talk to boys and you're learning to flirt and, like, stuff like that.
Also figuring out your friend group.
Yeah. So I had to start from ground zero with that, and I haven't made tons of progress, but getting there.
Well, hey, you've got the 6 of us, so.
Yeah.
So what about you? I guess just your stance on heteronormativity and how that affected your, I guess, realization that you were bisexual, or at least in the bisexual spectrum.
So heteronormativity definitely affected me because I just assumed I was straight.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, well, looking back now, I don't think it was that big of a deal because me realizing I was bisexual, it was quite a natural thing. It wasn't like an awakening, sort of. It wasn't like a moment. It was like, oh, I might be this. And then I did some research and I was like, oh, yeah, that is me. Because when I look back, as far as when I was 10 even, it's so obvious I was bisexual. And I'm like, how did it take me so long? But it was more of a thing of, I find that girl really attractive. But like, as I want to be her, I don't want to like be with her. But then I was like, no, I definitely wanted to be with her. I just didn't know how to put a name on it yet. So, yeah.
So, and I mean, you guys did come into your bisexuality a little bit later in life. Did you...
I mean, compared to you, yeah.
Well, right. How did you guys...
Tori came out the womb bisexual, waving a little bisexual flag.
But what I was going to ask was, how did you guys get involved in the LGBT community? Or are you involved in the LGBT community besides this podcast?
Well, I try to be involved. There's not... I don't know, I haven't found a lot of chances to be involved yet because I have limited travel opportunities and all that jazz. So for now, I try to attend Pride whenever I can. Several of my friends are LGBT and I just like hang out with them. And I just try and be there for my community. I try to be open. I try to be proud. I don't know. I feel like you sort of like attract other like LGBT people when you're like open about yourself. Because I don't know. Because at least when we all met, we had no idea we were bi, but we sort of like just felt attracted to each other. And then 1 week later, I was like, oh wow, you're literally like all LGBT as well, you know, like...
Yeah.
We can call that gay magnetism. You just attract other LGBT people.
Hashtag gay magnetism.
Yes.
Well, as far as being involved, I have to say I'm a bad bisexual as far as that goes. Especially, like, I blame it on, you know, where I came from. I didn't have a whole lot of opportunities back in Kansas to be involved, other than like, you know, the gay bars I would frequent.
Right.
That's pretty much as involved as I got. But I would love to go to Pride. I've never been.
You've never been to Pride?
I've never been to Pride.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we'll have to do that.
We need to take the Pride.
But the way that I kind of like would include myself in the community, because I didn't have a lot going on, you know, in person where I was from, is like online, just on social media. And I watched a lot of YouTubers that are, you know,
bisexual.
LGBT.
Mariana's nodding.
Because that's kind of how I like came to terms with my sexuality, as well as just there's, you know, a bunch of YouTubers that I would just binge watch and I'm like, oh my god, same.
Do you want to name any names?
Some favorites?
I mean, I definitely started with watching Allie Hills. Like, total crush on her. Let's see. Cammie Scott. Oh my gosh, I'm so awful with names. I follow all these people on Instagram, but I can never remember all of their names.
Well, we'll definitely include
Rose
them in
and
the
Rosie, of course. I mean, they're just little peaches, aren't they? I love them.
So, and actually, speaking of Pride, I did want to mention that UK Pride 2020 is in Newcastle, 17th to the 19th of July. So I think that we should totally go to that. So if any listeners are going to be there, definitely try to find us. That'll be fun.
We'll be a whole pack. So
whole pack of bi-colors.
And I know Newcastle, so I can give us a tour.
Perfect. So, but following in that same vein, there are definitely a lot of LGBT events happening all around the world. There is a website called pinkuk.com. And it includes all these LGBT events from around Europe and North America. And in the UK specifically, there are 55 prides and gay events for 2020. So
damn,
we don't need to hit all of them.
More than one a week.
Yeah. So there's definitely more than enough to do. Also, on top of that, I was looking for, I have only known about, like, you know, LGBT events and stuff, but there are actually bisexual events, like specifically for bisexuals, and the website is bicommunitynews.co.uk. Again,
bicommunitynews.co.uk.
She did it! I remembered it! Oh my god! But they apparently on December 5th is the Bi Flag birthday.
Oh,
how cool is that?
That's coming up.
And
it'll be
past when this actually goes on air. But for the listeners in 2020, in the future, our Bi Flag turned 21 in 2019. Aww. So it can drink now.
In the U.S., it can drink.
In the U.S., yeah, it can already drink.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so we are going to kind of end this on a funny note. First of all, actually, do you guys have any... I definitely have advice for some baby buys in our audience, but do you guys have any?
I do as well.
Advice? Do you want to go?
You can start.
Okay. It comes a little bit off what Madi was talking about YouTubers. Mm-hmm. I wanted to mention as well. I also really delved into the YouTube LGBT community when I was coming out. And there were several YouTubers that really helped me just figure out a lot of stuff about who I am. And I just wanted to mention a couple names.
Yeah.
Again, not sponsored at all. These are just people that I really admire because, especially if you're young or even if you're older, but you're just going through something and you're figuring yourself out, you're having doubts or questions. Two YouTubers that really helped me figure myself out were Hannah Witten and Melanie Murphy. Mm-hmm. Hannah Witten is straight, unfortunately.
Oh, she is?
Because I really, really love her. And but she does a lot of videos about just sexuality in general. Not sexual identity, but just talking about sexuality and just all those tips.
Is she just like a sex positive YouTuber?
Yeah, sex positive, sexual health YouTuber. She
That's awesome.
teaches a lot.
That makes me think of someone else, Stevie Bobby.
Oh, Stevie Bobby, I love her.
I love her
so much.
Major crush on her as well.
And they did a video together, Hannah Witten and Stevie Bobby.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have to go.
You guys are
Hannah,
so adorable.
And another YouTuber, which also collabs a lot with Hannah Witten, is Melanie Murphy. And she is bisexual. She's Irish. And she's actually engaged now. And I'm so happy.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Melanie Murphy. We share the same last name.
So cute.
And she's amazing. She also does a lot of videos about sex positivity, but also touches a lot upon bisexuality in her videos. debunking some myths and little bit of what we're trying to do here, sharing her own experiences, sharing, since she's engaged to a man, she tries to debunk a little bit of those myths.
And by erasure is something that we are definitely going to go over in some later episodes.
Exactly. So yeah, just check them out. Honestly, they're so amazing. I love them so much. And yeah.
That's so cute. Okay. Maddie, some advice?
I think my biggest bit of advice is, especially for those of you that have been, living a heteronormative life.
Trapped in your heteronormativity.
Yeah, for a good majority of your life, and you're kind of realizing your sexuality later, like past high school, things like that. If you're going through that, like, awkward teenage phase again, like I'm slowly getting out of, I think the thing that really helped me was using dating apps, which we'll talk about in another episode, but it really can help you, like, build your confidence with talking to people. So, like, if you are a girl and, you're not used to, talking to girls, flirting with girls, go on some dating apps and just chat with people. Yeah. And then vice versa for guys. If you've never
flirted with a guy
it's great because there's very little pressure, and, like, especially if you use an app that, like, it doesn't matter your location. You can, like, look at people in a different place so that you're not going to see people It's great to just, like, I don't know, just practice talking to people. Because I think that was my biggest barrier, is learning how to flirt with girls, because it's different. You flirt with a girl different than you would with a guy, I think.
Oh, definitely.
So that helped me.
So, and then for me, I'm going to go ahead and spout some more information that I looked up. A great way to get involved with your LGBT community, especially if you're too nervous or you don't want to go to a pride parade or just to an LGBT event, definitely get involved online. Not even just with online dating, but Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. Facebook, literally, if you just type in LGBT and your city or your nearest large city, you'll immediately find some groups that you can, if not chat with, then kind of lurk.
Yeah.
And see how everyone's treating each other, just get the vibe of the place. Same goes for Twitter, but also Tumblr's a bit of a mess and probably will always be a mess. So you should, honestly, for that, I would just look up some LGBT blogs. We're on there as Bye Bye Baby Podcast. If you want to look us up, we'll definitely be your friend.
Plug.
Yeah. But there are definitely a lot of blogs who talk about the same stuff we do and try to be as inclusive as possible. To wrap things up, we're going to do a little bit of a fun game. I'm sure you guys are familiar with Google searches.
Yep.
So
who's not?
Yeah. So we're going to be doing some Google searches with bisexual.
Yeah. We're going to see what people are searching on Google. You know how if you go on Google, you start to type something in and it'll come up with a drop-down menu of, like, autofill options.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what people are searching about bisexuality and kind of do a speed round of answering some of those questions if we can.
Okay, so first, I guess I should do with what?
Yeah.
And I'll do
what bisexuals.
What bisexuals? The first thing that pops up is, what bisexual are you?
Oh.
Ooh, what bisexual are we?
We talked about this.
We did.
Yeah, I was a plant bisexual. I remember.
Okay.
What were you guys?
I don't remember. Oh my gosh.
There was so many options.
There was.
Were you a Marvel bisexual? Something like that.
I think I was.
Because there was one that was like,
Marvel
are you a
versus
Marvel
DC?
or a DC
Definitely
bisexual?
Marvel.
We'll find this and we'll put it up probably on our Twitter. I think this is something that will go up on Twitter. Is
Yeah.
we'll link this little, like, screenshot that's like, what kind of bi are you? So we'll put that up so you guys can look at it.
And we'll answer some of those questions on Tumblr and Instagram. We'll do a little...
Yeah.
A little quick Q&A.
The one that I remember, though, is I think the one that stuck out to me the most was...
The Beatles one.
Yeah, the Beatles. The Beatles one, where it was, are you a Lucy in the Sky?
The one that she was talking about
Oh,
was...
I Want to Hold Your Hand,
That's
or
what it
Lucy in the
was.
Sky with Diamonds by... I don't know what I chose, because I'm definitely a come together by.
Mm-hmm.
Come together right now.
Over me. Sorry. But yeah, we'll definitely post this and share with you guys. But there's a lot of a lot of really funny ones on here. Like there's texting by or talk on the phone by. I'm just gonna say right now, if you call me, I'm okay with that. But I don't think I'll ever call people myself.
I'll call you.
Thanks, babe. Okay, so
yeah. So that answers that. You can find that on our Twitter or something.
Yeah. Do you want to do the next one?
Your search history. I won't read to them what is on your search history.
It's some. It's not dirty or anything. Oh, it's literally. That's because I was looking at the.
Okay.
They're making fun of me for searching for BDSM sexting websites, which we talk about in a later episode. I won't go into it, but.
Oh, I can't type on your phone. What?
Bisexual. You really can't.
I'm gonna do why.
Okay.
And then I think you should do how.
I was gonna do how.
Why bisexuals? Oh, I can't type on your phone, dude.
Oh, it doesn't want to bring anything up. Why?
Exactly.
Oh, bi erasure at its finest. Nothing is popping up, guys.
Why bisexuals? We don't have to answer why. That's
why bisexuals.
Try writing why
I'm gonna
do
try
bisexuals.
How bisexuals.
How bisexual are you?
How bisexuality works.
Oh.
Well,
That's
kids,
such a complicated question.
when a man or a woman loves a man
And a woman.
and or a woman, well,
Then they're bisexual.
then they're probably bisexual.
How does bisexual works? You have my brother calls it that I'm half gay.
See, some people get offended by that.
I don't.
I make jokes about it,
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
but
I call
brother-
myself gay all the time.
see, I call myself gay too, because for me, gay is just not straight. I kind of use it where people would use queer, I use gay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So that's such a serious question
that's how
what
bisexuality works.
Started to have the birds and the bees talk.
Yeah.
Oh, why is not showing up anything? Okay, so I just typed bisexual, and one of the ones that showed up was bisexual haircut.
What is
Should we comment on that?
Okay.
what is a bisexual
I know
haircut?
for a woman, I know what a bisexual haircut is.
Is it
What is
shaved?
it?
Half shaved?
No, a bisexual haircut is they get kind of like a long bob with bangs,
Oh,
Really?
dark
yes.
hair.
Yes. That makes me think of Savannah,
and it's-
Savannah Brown.
Yeah, like a long or short bob.
I mean,
Bob,
that's very attractive.
bob of varying lengths with bangs.
With bangs. The bangs are crucial. What about
Actually,
guys?
Like,
none of us have that haircut, actually.
Have you heard of I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Strange Aeons on YouTube. Okay, you have to go look her up because she's fucking hilarious and she has a bisexual haircut. And
Okay.
alas, she's bisexual.
So what about guys then? What's the bisexual haircut for guys?
Ooh.
I feel like there's only one haircut for guys right now, and that's the shave the sides and long.
That's how
long
it is
top.
in the UK. That's
I
like
don't think I've seen a single guy that doesn't have that, except I don't want to name
serious
names, but
taper fade.
yeah.
going on.
Ooh.
But anyway, so
Well, Max's haircut, he's
Max
at least
has like a little cute curly mop
Yeah.
on his head. It's cute.
Yeah.
yeah. Is there a I don't know a lot of bisexual men, so I cannot tally up.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
also
that's-
another topic for another time. Bisexual men and how little,
They're spoken about.
yeah,
Yes,
they're
definitely.
known about in
Yeah.
general.
we'll get into that another day.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr as Bye Bye Baby Podcast. And our email is byeByeBabyPodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and tell us whether you're a, what was it? Was the Beatles one? A Lucy in the Sky bye or a...
I want to hold your hand bye.
So yeah, definitely let us know on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, or our email.
Yeah, or if you're a baby bi and you have some struggles that you're facing, shoot us an email.
Yeah, we'll be happy to answer those.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye, babies.